If you're an American living in the US right now and you're not happy with the direction of the country and the economy and your quality of life, my recommendation is to leave. And before you come down on me saying it's such a privilege, not everyone can just pack up their stuff and leave, I have an exit plan. Because honestly, as someone that had my first career in politics, I studied political science in university, and I worked on a lot of political campaigns from congressional, presidential, Senate, the municipalities. There's just really no hope. And I know it's really gloom to say, and I'm a very optimistic person. But when I left the US in 2014 and worked on several campaigns, and I actually had the opportunity to work in Washington, D.C. for my Senator Elizabeth Warren. I worked on her campaign when she first ran. I think right now, it is literally the time to plan your exit. Because honestly, I don't think there will be a democracy by the end of this year. Given the direction that we're going in and how bold it's not even just the administration, I feel like there's just a huge class division, and people are just crossing boundaries when it comes to constitutional law and what things can be done. There's just really no hope. And I'm an optimist, and I'm single and child-free, so yes, it's easier to leave if you don't have dependents, if you're not married. But not just the US, but other countries that were once coveted places to go to, like Canada or Australia or the UK, there's just a huge shift in global powers and politics, and you want to be able to go where you can live your best life, where you can have a higher quality of life. Yes, you're not going to make tons of money in some of these places, but your quality of life, your civil rights, and being able to afford groceries. I buy fresh bread every morning. I love my bakery lady. And just being happy is just not worth to stay in the US. Now, I do provide relocation services for people that want to come to Serbia, and I think Serbia is an excellent place. It's a democracy, and like every democracy, there are people that want change, but at the same time, groceries are affordable, people are kind, people can afford to go on holiday. The food here is healthy. It's a pedestrian city, so you can walk everywhere. The public transportation is reliable. It's just, life is good here. Whether you're single and child-free like me, people have their pets, people have families, life is pretty good. And while people don't earn like tons of money, there is an elite class, still the quality of life is so much better than the US. And it just really breaks my heart when I see a lot of these YouTube videos or a lot of Americans expressing how they can't afford to live. They can make six figures, but between a mortgage and student loans and credit card and medical debt and insurance, you're just barely making it. And I think there's like some of the soup kitchens have seen like an uptick in people needing food. And it's just really, really sad. So at this point, the American dream really is to make your money in the US and live in Europe or Southeast Asia or South America, because it's just done. I did have hopes when I was growing up to live a really big, extravagant life. And this life I'm living, again, very privileged. I've traveled everywhere. I was an English teacher. That's how I got my start. And always had some business on the side. It's just not happening anymore. I would never be able to live the life I have now. I was not born into generational wealth. I don't have a spouse or anybody funding my life. I have to work, I have to earn. And I've lived in advanced economies and seen countries where there's more social safety nets, or even developing economies like Serbia, Kazakhstan, China, Thailand. There's a whole shift between the US, global powers like the US, Canada, UK, Australia, and other emerging markets like China, India, Brazil, South Africa, so the BRIC countries, Saudi Arabia. And I think it's best to leave while you can. If you can, and if you want my help, I'm here to help. But it's really, I think a lot of Americans don't know how bad they have it. Like, looking from the outside in, it's really bad. And it doesn't seem like it's gonna get any better. So I recommend people start a business, because hoping to get a job overseas is very difficult. And if you can't compete, if you don't know the language and you don't have the right credentials, it's hard to get a job in a foreign market. So starting some type of business is the best exit. Or if you do have the money, you can invest and buy property. So it's time to to exit. Now, I know everyone can't leave, nor everyone should, because we don't want certain ideologies coming to these parts of the world. You definitely have to adapt, and some countries like Portugal and Spain have been like gentrified by Americans. So if you do leave, be respectful. Get to learn the local language. I'm learning Serbian, and I know people ask me, where you speak Serbian on your channel? I want my content to reach as many people as possible. So I say leave. Life is much better outside the US. Now, if you're fabulously wealthy, like the 1%, yes, the US can be a really great place. Leave while you can.